Hello, mamas. Welcome back to the Drama Mama podcast. Today I want to talk about an irritating, annoying ass bitch that has a piece of lice, not even a bitch. That is rude to bitches. That's rude to my female dog, Kobe, that is sitting over there. She is a bitch, and that's rude to her. It's rude to lices. Louse. It's rude to parasites to call this man a bitch, and that bitch, that lice, is Andrew Tate. I don't know if you've seen this dude before. To put into perspective how popular this person is, he was Google searched more than Mr. Beast this past month. Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber in the world. This Andrew Tate guy is a sort of lifestyle guru. He appears on podcasts. He has his own, let's just say thing called Hustlers University. We'll get into what the hell that is in a little bit. And you've probably heard of him, and you've probably seen him talk, and you know, maybe you haven't seen to the extent of how insane this man is. But I've gone down the rabbit hole after being bombarded with his annoying, ugly-ass bald head every second of my waking day, and I want to talk about it. I first heard about this Andrew Tate guy when I saw his TikToks coming up on like my Instagram reels. These were like Instagram reels that they just recommend to you when you like run out of content on the app. If y'all have listened to this podcast before, you've probably heard that I just mute everyone that I follow except for like 6 people. So like when I go on Instagram, it's like 2 minutes until I've run out of stuff to see, and then they just start giving me random stuff. And some of the random stuff that they started giving me is Andrew Tate videos. It would always be in the form of him being on someone's podcast, and they would clip like a certain quote or a point that he was trying to make and post it on Reels. And some of them, it's the first ones I saw were like very vanilla, very mundane. I was like, okay, this is just a dude being a manly man, blah, blah, blah. He was like, as men, we need to... He didn't say this, but this is like what it is like bouncing around in my head as. He's like, as men, we need to stand up for each other and be ballers and go drink champagne on a yacht. And anyone else who disagrees can go die in a hole full of pee. So that's kind of what I imagine him as. You know, if you want verbatim, like, you can look him up, but also don't look him up because you're feeding into the problem. But essentially, overall, he's very popular with young men because he is almost like a father figure to a lot of young men. There has always been, throughout the history of YouTube and the internet, there's always been these kind of faces that, you know, young males will look up to and, you know, kind of become obsessed with and be like, oh my gosh, I wish I could become them one day. And they're not always the best role models. In fact, a lot of the time they are terrible. For example, if we want to go back, say 5 years, there was this YouTuber who was very big when I was in high school named Leafy. Leafy is here. He was kind of part of this wave of like very edgy YouTubers, okay? These were like primarily white dudes that would just like make the most horrific, offensive videos ever. Like, it was genuinely insane. Like, sometimes I'll go back and watch these videos and be like, okay. I don't want to like get into specifics, but these were like, you really had to be there to like fully grasp how unhinged and off the rails 2016 YouTube was, okay? You had just like white dudes proudly saying the N-word, and I'm like not even like saying it in passing. They would say it with a hard R and in like a way to kind of like stoke up controversy. Like it was like the opposite of like trying to not get canceled. These bozos were like literally trying to see how far they could push it. And it was crazy. And the crazy thing was I watched it, all my friends watched it, and a lot of people did not see the issue with it. So this kind of like craving, that's not the word. This appetite that young males have for edgy content has been around. It's always been around, like, since the dawn of freaking YouTube. So to me, Andrew Tate is just that manifesting into a person who is also, like, a self-help lifestyle guru person. So, for example, these 2016 YouTubers that were, like, making just genuinely horrible content, they were just doing that. And it was kind of assumed that they were a horrible person. And you weren't like a lot of people did look up to them and wanted to be like them, but it was like at face value, like, no, why would you want to be this person? This person is like literally a demon. However, Andrew Tate is saying similar statements, being similarly disrespectful and offensive, but coupling it with being this warm figure to young boys who maybe are going to him and watching his videos to feel more masculine, or to have their maybe they're insecure about their masculinity, and they think that watching an Andrew Tate podcast where he talks about how you can get rich and not rely on women to be successful, they're going to these episodes and to this man to feel comforted. So to me, the way I see how this whole thing is unfolding is what do they call it? Like the hook and the sinker, punchline and this, the hook is people are seeing these edgy videos, okay? You're getting these like young, mostly like teen boys that are seeing a dude be just insanely sexist and insanely edgy. And naturally, these teen boys are flocking to this kind of content. They're like, like picking like freaking like Cheeto dust out of their butt crack. Be like, that was funny. And then they interact with the videos, and then more show up. I think hashtag Andrew Tate on TikTok. Did I even say his name right? Did I? Why is my brain suddenly telling me his name is not Andrew Tate anymore? Why do I feel like it's Austin Tate? This is how little, like, space... it is Andrew Tate. Anyways. The hashtag Andrew Tate on TikTok has, like, 11 billion views. Videos about Andrew Tate on TikTok alone have 11 billion views. That's insane. That's genuinely crazy. So you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe you've never heard of this person, or maybe you have heard of him, but you've no idea why he's this big. And I was one of those people. I was like, why is he that big? Like, that makes no sense. And I've been trying to break it down. And I think it is genuinely, the hook is he's edgy. It draws these, like, wanting to be edgy teen boys and young men in. And then the sinker is he pretends to give some life advice. Now, the way he does his kind of life advice, self-help guru act, let's call it, is he paints himself to be very successful. He was like a boxer, and now claims he's like a multi-millionaire, okay? He claims he has fuck you money, which is a really just weird, nasty term to say, like, you have so much money that you can get people to do anything you want. And, you know, it's like he's trying to be like, paint himself as like a diet Elon Musk, basically. But let's get into a little bit more about who he actually is. This is a man who was a boxer, but then was on Big Brother in the UK, but then was kicked off Big Brother because a tape leaked of him literally beating up a woman. So they kicked him off. Now, it came out later that that woman said that was consensual, so who knows? I really don't know what to make of that, but given the pattern of this man and what I'm about to say, makes me kind of think there's something fishy going on there. Secondly, he used to run a cam girl business in Romania. I believe it was Romania, but regardless, it got raided by the police. And he now lives in, I believe it's Romania, and his reasoning that he said on a podcast, his reasoning for doing it, for moving there, for living there, he's from America. The reason he chose Romania, of all places, is not for... I actually don't know anything that Romania is known for. I was going to be like, Romanian sausages. That's probably not... Well, they have sausages there, but probably not what they're known for. He moved there because he claims that Romanian police are not as likely to investigate sexual assault. That is why he chose to live there, of all reasons. So that's the kind of person that we're dealing with. And that's why I wanted to make a whole episode on this, because I have rarely seen an internet personality start sticking to so many impressionable minds faster than I've seen Andrew Tate start sticking to young men. And it's really alarming. So, listen, I'm not trying to have my brain rot and fall out of my ears, because that's just not what I want to do. So I didn't do a complete deep dive. I didn't sign up for his Hustlers University course, which, let's get into that real quick, for $50 a month. For $50 a month, you can get access to his lessons and teachings and exclusive content on how to be a hustler and make millions of dollars. It is so insane to me because it is so clearly a pyramid scheme, which, if you don't know what a pyramid scheme is, it's basically there's one person or a few people at the top who are profiting off of other people recruiting other people. So a good example of this is Avon, which a lot of white moms do, where they'll sell a bunch of makeup and get commission, and there's all these little rewards for these little white moms. It's sell 40 makeup brushes and you will get this Avon pink tote bag, and it's whoever sells the most in their city gets a freaking pink Jeep. It's so it's literally almost like a cult. It's so crazy, but that is essentially what this Hustlers University is. And you might wonder, how is it a pyramid scheme? How is it a multi-level marketing scheme? Well, and this really blew my mind. When I was going down the rabbit hole, I saw in a few YouTube videos that pointed this out. So he doesn't have a TikTok account, despite there being 11 billion views of his videos. These are the videos that are on this hashtag and going around TikTok and going around Reels are re-uploads from podcasts. People clipping him talking from podcasts and uploading it to YouTube Shorts, uploading it to TikTok. And that's how it blows up. And we'll talk about why it's blowing up in a second. But the people uploading these, if you go to the descriptions of their videos or go to their profile, they have links to sign up for Hustler University, because the way he has this set up is, if you can get people to sign up for Hustlers University, you get commission, you get paid, you get money to have people sign up for this. So it's like when you get Uber Eats, when you sign up for Uber Eats, it's here's your code, share with someone, and if they sign up, you get $10 off. It's the same concept, but that is why it's spreading. That is why people are re-uploading this. You don't see bitches reposting my content, because I'm not creating a pyramid scheme to have people re-upload it. Now, obviously, you could have a bunch of people re-uploading the content and it would just flap and no one would watch it. That's a reality. So people could just upload his clips, and if no one wanted to watch them, they would flop. That's the nature of TikTok. That's the nature of YouTube. That's the nature of algorithms. People can make little conspiracy theories all they want, saying like, TikTok algorithm chooses this, favors this. That is not true. It literally is just it's a program. Like, y'all are arguing with the wall. Like, it's literally just a fucking AI program that sees what people like and what they interact with, and then shows it to more people who it thinks will interact with it. It's as simple as that. Like, I used to really like get in my head when I would post a TikTok and it wouldn't do well, and I'd be like, TikTok doesn't like me, as if there's some bitch at TikTok that's like shadow banning is not real. But no, we can't get into that. We cannot get into that. At the end of the day, if a video doesn't get views, it's probably because it wasn't a good video. If a video does get views, it's probably because it was a good video or it resonated with a lot of people. And I say that because you can have bad videos that get around because it resonates with a lot of people. But anyways, I don't think Andrew Tate's videos and messages are good, but they're resonating with people. For example, I think he came up on my For You page like once or twice, and I saw his little bald egghead, listen to what he had to say, skipped. I was like, shut up, you are annoying. And I never saw it again. But obviously, for a lot of people, they're seeing what he's posting and they're liking it, they're sharing it, they're following the accounts that are posting his clips. And it makes sense when you see some of the stuff that's getting reposted. You'll go on the tag, and not all of it is immediately misogynistic, like insane speak. A lot of it is stuff that's just really appealing to young boys and men and young men. It's a lot of themes about being there for yourself, like being a self-starter, how you can become rags to riches, how you're the only person in your way. And that is the kind of stuff that a lot of people need to hear. Like, there's some messages in there, obviously, like, taken as a whole, Jesus Christ, no. But there's some messages on their own that make sense. A lot of people need to hear some of the things he says where it's like, you're the only person in your way. Duh. Like, that can help a lot of people. So they get into that, and suddenly you have this trustworthy face. Suddenly you trust Andrew Tate. And then TikTok starts feeding you more. And suddenly you're watching TikToks of Andrew Tate saying, like, women... This is a thing he actually said. This isn't verbatim, but this is like a thing he actually said on a podcast. He claimed that if you're in a relationship with a girl and a girl creates an OnlyFans account, you're entitled to a cut of her revenue from her OnlyFans. So suddenly you're seeing that. But you're already at that point in too deep, okay? He's suddenly this trustworthy figure in your mind, and you're not questioning why he's saying this. You're not questioning, really, if that's an okay thing to say. Like, by that point, you're already, like, freaking Andrew Tate pilled. Like, you're already down the rabbit hole. So... Now, this is the thing where I see a lot of people freaking out, and I don't know what to make of it, because on one hand, like, he does have a lot of people who are getting a lot of his content on their TikTok For You pages and stuff, and are just very into what he says. They might have watched a few podcasts, but it's probably a very small subset of those people who are actually spending $50 a month on his Hustlers University. Now, I have not spent the $50, have not done a deep dive on what he's saying on there, but I can imagine it's probably pretty horrific. So, on one hand, like, he's still probably getting a ton of money from this Hustlers University thing. Like, if you're more searched than Mr. Beast on Google, he's probably making like $10 million a month at least just from these subscriptions. I can't even like begin to think about how insane like his bankroll is from that. However, I do think that he will fade away, hopefully, like a trend. So you see, like, there's kind of a lifespan that these sort of lifestyle gurus have, okay? They might have a big blow up moment where, I mean, this kind of goes for like any celebrity, influencer, person that you follow, person that you keep up with, who it's like a not parasocial relationship, but like you follow them online and you're involved in their life. A lot of the time it's like a big explosion and they get a lot of viewers, and then only a small amount of them like latch on and stick with them and are like devout followers. It's kind of like that. So right now, we're very much in the explosion phase of Andrew Tate, where there's just a billion people, like everyone and your mother is watching his videos and watching his TikToks. But I'll really be interested to see who is going to be actually like adopting his lifestyle notes and techniques and views and beliefs for like a long period of time. For example, like with Leafy and a lot of these edgy YouTubers from 2016, most of them are either completely forgotten. They're somewhere between like they have a few like still, I don't know, like stands to like completely forgotten, and like you bring up the name, you're like, oh, that guy that I used to watch. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Andrew Tate, because and like I said earlier, a lot of these edgy YouTubers from 2016, they didn't have that like extra factor that Andrew Tate has, where he can like hook you in by like kind of appealing to maybe your lonely side or your side that feels like demasculated, like the world won't let you be a man or some stuff like that. Like they didn't have that. They were simply just being edgy. So maybe that's why they died off, and maybe that means that Andrew Tate is going to stick around for a lot longer. Who knows? It's I'm very curious, because we really haven't had like an internet person like this prolific for saying absolute batshit crazy stuff in a while, in a fat minute. Like the only thing coming to mind is like Trisha Paytas, but even she was not as insane as this. And just like she was insane, but it was like a lot of the time like very much jokingly, and she wasn't actively like preaching misogyny or stuff like that. So it just makes me scared, because so many people, especially like impressionable like younger boys, are going to stumble across this content. Like it's inevitable that they're going to stumble across this content. And when you're like, even when you're like 16, like when you're a teenager, you don't have necessarily like the cognitive ability to realize that someone is like a fraud and a phony and just saying horrible things. It's so easy as a teenager to just adopt someone's whole beliefs and persona just because you think they're funny, or just because you think they are like edgy or something. And that's what happened in 2016. The amount of people at my high school that would just like talk like Leafy, or like say really horrific like phrases and like slurs just like this Leafy YouTuber would, was insane, and like not even think twice about it. So it really concerns me knowing how many people are just gonna completely just adopt like a sponge this Andrew Tate's like entire personality and worldview. Like you see it happen, not even just with like edgy people. Like you'll see it happen with like good people too. Like the way, like the chokehold that Emma Chamberlin has had on like on the opposite side, the flip side, like teen girls. Like the amount of teen girls that like would watch Emma Chamberlain's content and then fully just adopt her entire personality. Like anything she would buy, anything she would endorse, they would buy and they would kind of like live by. So, but the thing is, like, you know, Emma Chamberlain appealed to maybe like girls is actually, I don't know. I couldn't give you too much information on Emma Chamberlain, but she obviously had this appeal to girls. But Andrew Tate has this really crazy double appeal that like blows my mind because it's power. It's insane how powerful it is and how much it's gonna hook a lot of people. Now, thankfully, he's like I see a lot of calls like for him to be deplatformed. Like, I keep seeing like people posting their Instagram story like to take him off Instagram, to take him off TikTok, to take him off YouTube. The thing is, though, like this man doesn't have TikTok. He doesn't have. I don't think he has YouTube. Like that's all just people posting for him, and you can't ban like you can ban like an individual person from having an account, but you can't really ban like that person in conversation on TikTok. Like say tomorrow I was just like a war criminal and freaking like I like knocked over I just sunk an island somehow. I just sunk the Tongan Islands, okay? And everyone hated me and they were like, Ben of the Week is evil forever. TikTok could ban my account, YouTube could ban my account, but people could still re-upload clips of me, and that could go on forever. So, genuinely, there is no way to ban Andrew Tate. It's a lost cause. There is thousands of people just re-uploading his content, and they are financially motivated to re-upload his content. That is the thing. They are all getting paid. At least most of them, from what I've seen in the descriptions and people's bios, they're getting paid to endorse Hustlers University. So it's not just like they're a fan just re-uploading clips. There's so much financial incentive. I'd say so much, but I really would be curious to see how much these people are actually getting. It's probably not that much, or at least not as much as, you know, if you were like sending out referrals. Like Uber gives you $10 for food for a freaking if you get someone to sign up for Uber. Like I would really be curious to see how much people are making from supporting Hustlers University. But sorry, I just hiccuped. It's scary. And that's all I really have to say on it for now. Please be kind to everyone and screw Andrew Tate. I love you all. Please stay safe. I'll see you next Wednesday. Take care. End of the week, it's chill.